I'm worried. It's going to take a toll on our people.
We all love you to the moon and back, and we will never stop looking for you.
There's a little girl missing, and if it was mine, I'd want the world to be looking for her.
To sustain our hope for Jamie's safe return.
For 88 days, you called in tips.
2 hours later that she was found, I just cannot believe this.
It's amazing the will of that 13-year-old girl to survive and escape.
Today we can finally say, Jamie Kloss is home.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good Saturday morning and welcome to News 3 This Morning, Saturday on this January 12th. It is 8 o'clock. I'm Josh Spreiter alongside meteorologist Chris Reese. We will have the latest on Jamie Kloss, who's reunited with her family this first weekend in nearly 3 months. Just remarkable. It almost puts me to tears seeing all of that coverage this week. What a fantastic week, and we've got a quiet weekend of weather for us. Not so quiet just south of us, though.
Yeah, just south of us, some major things are going on. It's one of the biggest snowstorms that they have seen across the Midwest in years for places like St. Louis, over towards Indianapolis and Cincinnati. So this is certainly a big deal weather maker, and it is oh so close to us. We've been watching this snow since this time yesterday. It's been going on in some of the same spots for more than 12 hours at this point, and they still have more to go going through today and parts of tomorrow. So we are talking a foot of snow likely in places such as St. Louis through central Illinois as well. As you work your way farther towards the north, especially across southern and eastern Iowa, that's where we could see anywhere from about 4 to 8 inches of snow in some spots. And again, it is extremely close to southern Wisconsin, but we will not see that here in Madison. Right now, 28 degrees and cloudy, which temperatures are about 9 degrees warmer than they were at this time yesterday. We're going to be staying on that warmer note, but 28 to 32 going throughout the morning and topping out at 34 degrees this afternoon with flurries possible to our south.
Oh, so close yet so far away from you, buddy.
Or as Dave said yesterday, snow close yet snow far. So I'm going to steal that one from him.
I love that one.
know.
All right, we'll see you in just a little bit.
Sounds good.
Well, it was certainly the best case scenario for a devastating story capturing the state of Wisconsin and really the entire country. 13-year-old Jamie Kloss is reunited with her family this weekend after vanishing nearly 3 months ago. This photo shows Jamie's emotional reunion with her aunt Jennifer and her dog Molly. She was found in Gordon, Wisconsin, a small town in Douglas County, about an hour north of where the Kloss family lived in Barron. She was allegedly taken by Jake Patterson, a 21-year-old with no criminal history, not even a parking ticket. But new this morning, the Fox affiliate in Minneapolis is reporting that detectives are now looking at the criminal history of Patterson's brother. Now, it is important to point out that investigators still believe Patterson acted alone in the abduction of Jamie, as well as the murder of her parents. There are no other suspects at this time. We're also learning more about the woman who found Jamie Thursday night. Jeannie Nutter is a former social worker and current academic advisor at UW-Eau Claire. Her colleagues in the UW system say it was her training that allowed her to keep calm and get Kloss to safety. She spoke to reporters in Gordon.
I didn't grab her and run off through the woods, which would have been maybe an instinct, but no, I just held on to her and I said, we're going to find somebody who's home, we're going to call the police, you're going to be okay.
Nutter's colleagues say Child Protective Services workers act as first responders in certain situations, and their training can help bring children to safety. Let's take a look at the timeline of events in this case. Jamie disappeared and her parents were murdered on October 15th. A week later, thousands of volunteers helped search for her through fields and woods surrounding her home. On October 24th, the FBI offered a $50,000 reward for information into her disappearance. In November, Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald urged hunters to be on the lookout for clues for Jamie. Then on December 12th, the Barron community designated and lit a tree, decorated and hope for Jamie as a way to pay tribute and hope for a safe return home. On January 10th, Thursday, she was found. Governor Tony Evers posted about Kloss on Twitter, calling it a collaborative effort that helped bring Jamie home and offered support to the teen and her family. Elizabeth Smart is also commenting on Jamie's return. She says it's a miracle the 13-year-old was found safe. Smart was 14 when she was abducted from her home in Salt Lake City in 2002. She was rescued 9 months later. Tonight, CBS will be airing a special 48 hours on the Jamie Kloss case. You can watch that right here on WISC-TV 3 starting at 9. Developing overnight, the partial government shutdown is now on day 22, making it the longest in U.S. history. House and Senate members have gone home, so the standoff is pretty much guaranteed to go into next week. Hundreds of thousands of federal workers missed their paychecks yesterday, and neither congressional Democrats nor the president are ready to make a deal. Nicole Killian has the latest.
It's not an ancient crime.
President Trump is urging lawmakers to fund a wall on the U.S. southern border now.
We have a country that's being invaded by criminals and by drugs, and we're going to stop it. So I want the Democrats to come back to Washington and vote.
Funding that wall remains the sticking point that's keeping the government closed.
800,000 federal employees and all American citizens are held hostage. When do we come together and say enough?
We need to push pause on requesting specific conditions before talks resume. We need to lay down our swords.
President Trump has threatened to declare a national emergency on the border in order to get the money to build the wall, but says Congress should do its job.
And I don't want to give an easy way out of something as simple as this.
The bill is passed. On Friday afternoon, the House joined the Senate in voting to ensure federal employees receive back pay once the shutdown ends.
Now it's sort of like a slap in the face.
But workers who aren't getting paid now say they're dealing with a roller coaster of emotions.
We don't know how long it's going to last. We don't know, when we're going to get our next paycheck and how we're going to be able to pay our bills.
About half of federal workers who aren't getting paychecks, like those who guard the border and TSA employees, remain on the job. Nicole Killian, CBS News, the White House.
A new CBS poll out this weekend shows many Americans disapprove of the way all parties are handling the situation. 47% say they blame President Trump. 30% say they blame congressional Democrats. Well, back in Wisconsin, officials with Public Health Madison and Dane County expect to continue operating the Women, Infants, and Children program during the shutdown. WIC is a federally funded nutrition program providing them opportunities to eat healthy food and learn about healthy living. All of the program services will be offered, including benefits from local vendors. Second Harvest Food Bank is getting ready for more people to need its services since government workers are no longer getting paychecks. The USDA also announced food stamp funding will only last through the end of February, which means even more people could need to turn to them. If you are someone in need of help, you can give Dane County 211 a call, and someone there can get you set up with the food pantry closest to you. 8:07 this morning, Governor Evers and his wife, First Lady Kathy Evers, are inviting you to a housewarming party at the executive residence today. The event will include a walkthrough of the residence and the grounds at 99 Cambridge Road. It is open to the public for free from 1 to 3 this afternoon. We have a consumer alert this morning. You may want to check your wallet before heading out the door today. There's a warning from Vernon County officials about counterfeit $100 bills showing up in that area. This is an example of one right now. There have been reports in Muscadet, Richland Center, and Avoca so far. One suspect has been taken into custody, but multiple police departments continue to investigate. In the meantime, you can check for things like a watermark, raised printing, and a security ribbon in the middle of the bill to prove you have a legitimate one. New this morning, you have the chance to help put a smile on the face of local kids. The Free Bikes for Kids collection is happening today. They're looking to collect 3,000 bikes to clean and refurbish, which will eventually be donated to kids in the Madison area. From 9 until 1, you can drop off a gently used bike at 6 different Unity Point Health Meritor clinics across the Madison area. We have a full list of drop-off locations on channel3000.com. Well, we are spending more on prescription drugs in the U.S. than people in any other country, and out-of-pocket costs will keep going up by around $70 billion by 2025. But there are some ways to save. Just ask. 2 years ago, Consumer Reports helped uncover something called gag clauses, which prevented pharmacists from telling you there might be a lower drug price by not using your insurance. Since then, federal laws have been passed to prevent that from happening.
We can actually help the consumer a whole lot more For example, last night, a lady came in for an antibiotic ointment. We filled it, ran it through her insurance. It was $192. Put it through for the cash price, and it was just $15.
There are a few things you can do to get those kinds of savings for yourself. We'll have those hacks for you tomorrow on News 3 This Morning Sunday. The Milwaukee Bucks are out of town until Tuesday, and while it's been exciting to have them at the new Pfizer Forum, there's still work to be done to dismantle the old Bradley Center. Contractors will use a targeted explosive to demolish some of the remaining roof tomorrow morning. As a precaution, crews have installed vibration monitors at historic Turner Hall across the street, and the Bradley Center will be soaked with water to help with dust. Well, it turns out Aaron Rodgers did have some say in Green Bay's latest head coach hire. That's according to Packers president and CEO Mark Murphy. He says Matt LaFleur was the last of 10 interviews for the head coaching position, and it was clear he was the right choice for the job. As for LaFleur, he told reporters making the move took some guts.
I took the risk because I knew that I needed to get out of my comfort zone and grow as a coach. And, you know, the lessons I learned this year, I learned that football is not always easy. You better navigate through some adversity, and I was proud of that.
As for LaFleur's relationship with Rodgers and whether they'll work well together, LaFleur says Rodgers called him before the Packers offered him the job and says that call went well.
That was on Monday night.
This week, the Brewers added a big name to their roster, signing former LA Dodgers catcher Yasmani Grandal to a one-year deal worth more than $18 million. Brewers fans might remember Grandal for some of his defensive miscues against Milwaukee in the NLCS in October when he allowed several wild pitches, but he's known more for his bat. Grandal has hit at least 20 home runs in the past 3 seasons, including 24 for the Dodgers last year. He's expected to take over as the Brewers' starting catcher. Well, if you're one of those parents that just can't seem to keep your cool when it comes to your kids' sporting events, referees have a message for you. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reports WIAA Director Dave Anderson is circulating an op-ed titled "Dear Mom and Dad, Cool It." The piece, originally published by a Michigan newspaper, asked parents to rein it in when it comes to verbally criticizing game officials and coaches. This comes as the WIAA is experiencing a shortage of referees, which the organization blames partly on over-enthusiastic parents on the sidelines. Well, how about that? 8:11 this morning, we're getting a look at what the future might look like as we head out to one of the nation's largest annual tech conferences. And here's a live look over the Capitol this Saturday morning as we wake up on this cloudy day. Some flakes are in the forecast, but some warmer temperatures are on the way too. Chris is in next with your full weekend forecast. Thanks for waking up with us on News 3 This Morning Saturday.
It's very cloudy and dreary to start the weekend. We're going to be staying on that note as we go really throughout all of your Saturday. Temperatures right now are in the upper 20s, and they've been in the upper 20s since about last night. That cloud cover working as a blanket to keep those temperatures fairly steady. Across the region, though, we still see more temperatures anywhere from between about 25 and 30. We're a little bit warmer as you work your way over towards the lake shore, which, of course, is normal. As we zoom things out, we're uniform really across the upper Midwest. 28 in Des Moines right now, 29 in Iowa City, and those upper 20s really last through parts of northern Illinois as well. That's where we see the snow continuing to fall, and it's trying to include the extreme southern tier of Grant County in Wisconsin. But for the most part, that snow should stay south of the Wisconsin border. But this is all a part of a much bigger system that is impacting the Midwest. It's been impacting them since about this time yesterday, and we still have a lot more to go through this storm for our friends to our south. And for us, we just simply get to watch and wave and watch them deal with the snow. That regional low pressure, though, will stay to our south. High pressure to the north is going to work to keep us on a drier note going through not only today, but through the rest of the weekend as a whole as well. And so as we take you hour by hour, you'll see that snow really try to work its way in, but that high pressure is going to keep it to our south, folks. Temperatures will remain in the 20s and 30s during this time. Into your Sunday, I cannot rule out at least some lake effect cloud cover. Now, oftentimes you can get some lake effect snow showers, but I do think the air is going to be just too dry for that. But don't be surprised if a flurry or two does happen tomorrow. A lot of that colder air still bottled up around the poles right now. We've been on a milder note. But I do want to pay attention to what I think is going to happen, especially as we get you towards the last weeks of January and into February. Watch that colder air begin to bottle up just to our north, and then it starts to make its southern intrusions as we go towards about January 20th and beyond. In fact, by the time we get you towards January 25th or so, we could really see some shots of colder air. Now, what about chances for snow with that? Well, we do have a decent probability of being below normal, along with a 40 to 50% probability of being above normal in terms of precipitation. So we will watch any snow chances that move their way on into Wisconsin. But for now, we're staying to the south. Dry conditions will last as we go through the beginning and middle of the week. There is a snow chance towards next weekend. Of course, I'll keep a close eye on that as well.
We're bringing you into your first winter in Wisconsin. Very easy, Chris.
Very easy, I know, but I'm ready. Just bring the snow. Come on.
We will see. All right, Chris, thank you.
All right, my pleasure.
8:17 is your time right now. A lot of buzz at the annual CES Tech Show in Las Vegas this week is about 5G. This Motorola Z3 smartphone is expected to be the first on the market with the power of 5G. Eventually, 5G could be up to 100 times faster than current 4G speeds. Several companies are promising the high-tech upgrade in the near future. CNET says providers are installing the new small cell towers that carry 5G, and this fifth-generation technology will do more than make browsing and downloading quicker.
When we went from 3G to 4G, we enabled all kinds of new apps, things like Uber, Airbnb, live streaming on Facebook. Those things did not exist without 4G. We couldn't even conceive of those apps before it happened. With 5G, I think the real promise is apps that haven't even been figured out yet.
It could also make full self-driving cars a reality, allowing them to talk to each other. 5G will roll out in this next few months in several large cities, but it will be a couple of years before it's widely available. A group of seniors in Wausau is practicing their waves and perfecting their special talents as a retirement home prepares to host its first ever silver pageant. That's a beauty pageant for residents 75 years and older. The main goal is to give those wiser women a chance to share their stories with the younger generation. Yesterday, participants got their photos taken at Mountain Terrace Senior Living. One of those women, Ann Jakes, says that part of the program reminded her of high school back when she took her last yearbook photo.
It's been exciting because it's pushed me to do more reflection of who I am.
Jakes will be escorted by her son during the pageant, which takes place next month. An international meat competition is coming to town, and it's a pretty big deal. The IFFA quality competition is only held every 3 years and generally only in Frankfurt, Germany. This is just the second time it's being held outside that city. UW-Madison is hosting a satellite contest of the competition at its Discovery Building. That's happening later this month from January 21st through the 25th. 20 minutes past the hour right now, and the Oscars will reportedly go hostless for the first time in nearly 3 decades. Plus, it's a real-life show captivating thousands halfway around the world. We'll take you to a much colder ice fest when News 3 This Morning Saturday continues.
And we have been dealing with a mainly cloudy morning. Temperatures are right around 28 degrees. And we're going to be seeing those temperatures really struggle to move with all of the cloud cover that we do have around. Now, we've been watching some snow try to move into the area, mainly from the south. I do believe that this snow will stay to our south, across northern Illinois and southeastern Iowa. For us here in Madison, temperatures are what we're going to track throughout the day in addition to the cloud cover. By lunchtime, I do suspect we'll be right around 32 degrees. A few flurries can't be ruled out, but I think the best chance of that will be well south of town. By the afternoon, we'll top out right around 34 degrees. Josh?
Thanks, Chris. It is 8:24 right now. The Academy Awards has not found a host, so the show may go on without one. Kevin Hart backed out of next month's Oscars and says he's not changing his mind. Variety magazine reports the Academy is planning to go forward without a host for the first time in nearly 30 years. The show will instead have various celebrities introduce different segments. We'll go out on a limb and predict this next film won't be up for an Oscar, but Barbie is coming to life, bringing her Malibu dream house to the big screen. Academy Award nominee Margot Robbie will play the world-famous doll. Mattel and Warner Brothers are partnering on this project, which will be the first live-action film to showcase Barbie. Will Smith took to Twitter to tease the start of production for the third installment in the Bad Boys movie franchise. He tweeted a stack of scripts for Bad Boys for Life. It's been 15 years since Smith and Martin Lawrence starred as buddy cops in Bad Boys 2. Bad Boys for Life will hit theaters next January. Sam Elliott is the latest name to receive Hollywood's oldest honor, leaving his hand and footprints in cement outside of the TLC Chinese Theater in Hollywood. Elliott's 50-year acting career began with a part in Butch and Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga were on hand for the ceremony. Both starred alongside Elliott in A Star is Born. It is a real-life show captivating crowds in China. The city of Harbin is hosting its annual Ice and Snow Festival. Colored lights illuminate ice and snow sculptures. People who attend can take sled rides on the river or participate in a mass wedding. The event draws millions of visitors from around the world each year, and it started in the 80s. Harbin is one of China's coldest cities, where temperatures can drop as low as 25 degrees below zero. Holy cow. The festival runs through February. Back in Wisconsin, crews working on the ice castles on Lake Geneva are a bit frustrated with this recent weather. WPR reports crews trying to hand place 10,000 icicles have to keep starting over because of the warmth and rain. This video is from 2 years ago when the attraction opened by mid-January. So far this year, crews have gotten about 3/4 of the way done 4 times now. But the Utah company in charge is staying optimistic, saying it's not if, but when it will stay cold enough to keep building. They're hoping to open by Lake Geneva's annual Winterfest, which starts on January 26th. Just about 8:27 right now. Still ahead, we'll have the latest on the day's top stories, including a consumer alert about counterfeit bills circulating our area. And learning from the past as we move towards the future. That's the mentality behind a new program bringing older generations into classrooms. You're watching News 3 This Morning, Saturday. Maybe the only force as powerful as a parent's love for their children is a grandparent's. We'll tell you why there's a nationwide push to get more seniors involved in schools.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning and happy Saturday. Welcome back to News 3 This Morning, Saturday. It is 8:30 on this January 12th. I'm Josh Breiter. Meteorologist Chris Reese has your latest weekend forecast in just a moment. But first, here's what's making news on this Saturday. It is a good weekend for family, friends, and the Barron community after 13-year-old Jamie Kloss is back home for the first time in nearly 3 months. Here is the first photo of her with her aunt Jennifer and her dog. Meanwhile, investigators will spend the weekend searching the home in Gordon where Jamie was found. We will keep you up to date on any breaking details this weekend on News 3 and the Channel 3000 mobile app. The government shutdown entered day 22 at midnight, making it the longest in U.S. history. House and Senate members have since gone home, so the standoff is pretty much guaranteed to go into next week. A CBS News poll out this weekend shows many Americans disapprove of the way the president, Democrats, and Republicans in Congress are handling the situation. 47% say they blame President Trump, while 30% say they blame congressional Democrats. We have a consumer warning from Vernon County officials this morning about counterfeit $100 bills showing up in that area. You're seeing an example of one right now. So far, there have been reports in Muscadet, Richland Center, and Avoca. One suspect has been taken into custody, but law enforcement continues to investigate. In the meantime, you can check for things like a watermark, raised printing, and a security ribbon in the middle of the bill to prove you have a legitimate one. The dismantling of the old Bradley Center in Milwaukee will move forward a lot faster when contractors use a targeted explosive tomorrow morning to demolish some of the remaining roof. As a precaution, crews have installed the vibration monitors at historic Turner Hall across the street, and the Bradley Center will be soaked with water to help with dust. The Bucks moved to the Fiserv Forum this season after 30 years at the Bradley Center. They're out of town until Tuesday. 8:32 right now. We're already waking up warmer this morning than we were yesterday, right, Chris?
Yeah, that's right, Josh. By about 10 degrees warmer than we were this time yesterday, which makes it kind of hard to say that we have a major winter storm occurring to our south. But that is the reality. Winter storm warnings go all the way from Kansas City, all the way through Cincinnati, and even into parts of Virginia. And here we are in Madison, and I think a lot of folks are just going to wave that one on by as it moves through. But we've been watching this storm rage on since last night, and it will continue to do so throughout parts of today and going really into Sunday as well. And that snow gets very close to the Wisconsin border. In fact, parts of extreme southwestern Wisconsin are getting in on just a little bit of light snow action. And so we'll watch that going through the day. It really shouldn't amount to much by any means at all. But a live look outside right now, temperatures are at 28 degrees. We're going to be keeping them in that note. But here's the deal. Yeah. We're warmer than we were at this time yesterday. Yesterday, we were in the teens, but 28 to 32 as we go throughout the morning. We'll top out with temperatures right around 34 into the afternoon, Josh.
All right, Chris, thank you. Wisconsin hunters are already looking forward to this spring's turkey hunt. More than 135,000 hunters have now been authorized to take part in that annual hunt. The DNR mailed out postcard notifications to applicants who were pulled in the annual drawing. But if you didn't get lucky in that drawing, don't worry. There are still more than 10,000 licenses available for purchase starting March 18th. You can check your status online. The DNR says Wisconsin saw a record number of bald eagle nests across the state. This year, officials count nearly 1,700 functioning bald eagle nests in its aerial survey. That's up more than 100 from last year, and DNR experts say that number should continue to grow. So far, the DNR has found nests in 71 of 72 counties in Wisconsin, including Walworth County with its first documented nest in at least a half a century. Up to 3 rehabbed eagles are now ready to be released back into the wild for the Sauk Prairie Eagle Watching Days. That's happening 1 week from today on Saturday, January 19th at VFW Park. Other eagle watching events are happening in Fox Valley communities the following weekend on January 26th and Prairie du Chien during the last weekend of February. You can search bald eagle watching on the DNR's website for all the details. Well, maybe the only thing as powerful as a parent's love is a grandparent's love. At thousands of schools across the country, more than 20,000 seniors are volunteering every day as foster grandparents rather. Here's CBS's Jan Crawford.
As the day begins at Excel Public School in Southeast Washington, there are a few mature faces among the young girls rushing to class.
Good morning, Taylor.
Wearing blue aprons and serving up hugs are 6 foster grandmothers.
You back here with the caboose.
Working alongside the school's teachers to help students succeed.
What?
Inside Dr. Smith's first grade class is Grandma Margie Dixon.
What does it mean to you to be here?
It gives me a lot of energy just to be with them.
What difference does she make at school time?
Because she make it funny and it be fun when she make it funny. She's sweet and for me, she helps us.
They're role models for our young ladies.
Principal Tanaya Pritchard said she'd love a grandparent in every classroom.
Our grandmothers live in the community, so they see our young ladies at the grocery store, on the buses. And so the girls, when they're at home and in their communities and with their families, they can see a part of school.
For Grandmas Dixon, Wanda Brookings, and Maureen Brooks, the word that best describes their experience is joy.
But it's a joy to get up every morning knowing that a smile and a hug is waiting for me. Who wouldn't want to get up and get that?
And they need you.
And they need me, and I need them each and every day.
Do you feel like you're really helping them learn?
Yes, you see it every day. Little things I do with my children in the room. I have one little girl.
You wink.
And then I say, then that lets her know, you're doing good today. And I love you.
Just that encouragement, like a wink and a thumbs up.
That's our secret.
The program is only open to seniors earning less than twice the federal poverty level. Nationwide, the Corporation for National Community Service helps more than 150,000 young people work with 22,000 foster grandparents in nearly every state.
The most important factor to move people into self-sufficiency is education.
Cheryl Christmas runs the DC program, one of the largest in the country.
We try to match individuals in areas and in schools and early childhood that people are struggling. The kids benefit from the social-emotional connection, and then for the grandparents, they too are learning.
Seniors get help with everything from wills to annual physicals. A recent study found that nearly half of the program's volunteers report improved health after just 1 year. Something Grandma Maureen has felt personally.
What did the doctor say about you doing this?
Oh, he told me to keep up the good work, my pressure down.
Your blood pressure's down.
Blood pressure down, my weight is down. I just had my cataracts removed. They're fine. I said I got to see my babies.
But for these grandmothers, the program's most valuable benefit is in the classroom.
Love. Yeah. Don't cost anything.
I had one little girl to tell me, she said, do you know how much I love you? You know how you turn your eyes because you have tears in there? I said, you just don't know how much I love you today, baby.
But you're getting emotional about this.
You see so many children that don't get love. They have no idea what love is about. And to me, to share my love, that can take them a long ways.
Great story there. Looking for something to do this weekend? Well, we've got some ideas for you and the family. From a song selection by the Piano Man to several options that'll have you laughing and singing along. Your Weekend 608 is coming up on News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
We are starting out with temperatures in the upper 20s. They're going to stay there for most of the day, but I do think we have a shot at making it towards 32 by lunchtime or so. Highs this afternoon should be right around 34 degrees. A few flurries are possible. That'll be mainly south of Madison.
Well, it is the weekend in the 608.
That's right, Josh, and here's a look at what's going on around the Madison area.
There is a great option for anyone who loves to laugh at comedy on state. Funny man Ian Edwards has 2 more shows tonight. Edwards was born in England and raised in Jamaica and now lives in New York City. He'll bring his accent and worldly experience to his observational skits. Edwards has written for ABC's Blackish, CBS's 2 Broke Girls, and Saturday Night Live. Tickets are still available for shows at 8 and 10:30 tonight.
And if you have kids, or if you are like me, of course, oh, sorry about that. For anyone who can't wait to see Billy Joel in Milwaukee this spring, you can get your Piano Man fix this afternoon. It's not the Piano Man himself, but local pianist Billy Joe Anderson puts his name to good use by leading a Billy Joel tribute show with his band, The Affordables, at the High Noon Saloon. It's an early option. The show starts at 2 o'clock this afternoon.
And if you have kids or you're like me, you're trying to take my read, you might want to spend some time at the Overture Center this weekend. I will be there this afternoon. This is my read because I'm going, Chris. The musical Finding Neverland follows a playwright to Peter Pan's Neverland. You can catch one of the 4 remaining performances at the Overture Center. Those are at 2 and 8 o'clock today and 1 and 6:30 tomorrow.
All right, here's one for me. It's about the weather. The Madison Opera Center will host Superstorm. It's a new opera commissioned by the Opera for the Young and performed with the Madison Opera. It's a story of dogs and cats finding their voices while trapped in a cave during a storm. That is tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
And maybe here's one for both of us. And competing in the same time slot tomorrow at 3 p.m. at the Overture Center is The Rainbow Fish, a production filled with lifelike puppetry. Octopi and fish float through the light's currents, all while enjoying stories for the kids.
All right, and as always, you can get this month's Madison magazine for all of the best in the Madison area.
8:44 is your time, and still ahead this morning, you can now buy season tickets for Madison's newest teams in their inaugural season.
And here's a live look over the Capitol right now. We're oddly enough tracking some warmer temperatures for today. I'll have your full forecast coming right up.
But first, happy birthday to all the kiddos turning 3 today. Thanks for waking up with us and celebrating on News 3 This Morning Saturday.
Not white, but instead gray. That's going to be the theme for us here in town as we go through the weekend. Just a very dreary look outside. It almost looks like it's going to snow, but oddly enough, the air is fairly dry for us folks. Temperature 28 degrees. Winds coming out of the east and northeast at 7 miles per hour as of now. But temperatures as a whole have really held steady this morning. 30 in Janesville, 30 in Mineral Point as well. 27 as you work your way up towards the Dells. But temperatures as a whole are between about 25 and 30 degrees, except the lake shore where things are just a little bit warmer. Back to the south and west, 29 in Iowa City, 28 in Des Moines and Fort Dodge as well. Much colder though as you work your way towards the Twin Cities and Point North. That is where Canadian high pressure is starting to move into the picture just a little bit. But that snowstorm that is making headlines across pretty much the Midwest and the Ohio Valley is very close to us. In fact, you see some light snow trying to cross the southern border right now. That's probably about as far north as it's going to get. Of course, we're going to watch that very closely, and that is why we do have the flurry chance for our friends to the south. Here's the system as a whole across the country. Heavy rain right around the Mississippi River Valley as well, but we're going to be watching this one throughout the morning as this region of low pressure continues to move towards the north and east, going throughout your Saturday and into Sunday. Once we get into Sunday, though, high pressure takes over. That keeps things dry. That even shuts off the system for a lot of the Midwest. And that does mean more sunshine for us. So temperatures are going to be staying pretty much in the 20s and 30s as that snow passes by to our south. We'll get a little bit of clearing into your Sunday. By Sunday afternoon, I can't rule out the possibility of some lake effect cloud cover. I do think we'll just be a little bit too dry to see any snowflakes falling out of the sky from that. The bigger picture we are watching is the end of January as that cold air begins to spill into the United States. For a long time, it's really been bottled up. But here's what I think is going to happen once we get you towards about January 20th or so. Watch how that colder air really begins to pour into the eastern half of the country. A big question. Can that bring us chances for snow? Well, that remains to be seen, but I'll tell you what, while we do have a decent probability of being below average in terms of temperature, we also have a decent probability of being above average when it comes to precipitation, and that does bring a better chance of snowfall to the region. So, of course, we're going to keep a close eye on that, but for the most part, we're remaining dry as we go through the weekend and early next week as well. The next snow chances return to the forecast as we get you towards next weekend, and even still, that remains to be seen in terms of the exact details, but we'll keep a close eye on it and see what happens from there. In the meantime, this is your pet walk, Indy, and her Christmas present in Madison.
Very cuddly. It's kind of one of those days, too.
It really is.
Cloudy morning. All right, Chris, thank you. Well, we have been asking you to share your morning with us, and we've got a good one for you this morning. Linda Watson posted this picture on Facebook. Check out that squirrel just looking at us.
It needs to hibernate. Squirrel, what you doing?
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing, Linda. What does your morning look like? Take a picture and post it to the Channel 3000 Facebook page, Instagram, or Twitter. Use the hashtag MyNews3Morning, and that's how we're able to pick out our favorites and air them right here on the show. Right now, Wisconsin is behind the national average on several health measures like the obesity rate and weekly activity levels, but there's an initiative working to change that. Wisconsin Active Together recognizes communities that are committed to promoting places to walk, bike, and be active. They just announced 14 new members, including Bike Fitchburg, the City of Middleton, Oregon's Chamber of Commerce, and the Sun Prairie Bicycling Advocacy Group. The program connects those groups with resources, trainings, and policy experts to build a better, more active community. If you'd like to get involved, head to wiactivetogether.org. Well, for those of you planning a family day trip to Devil's Lake, we could soon see what a new nature center will look like in the next few months. The Baraboo News Republic reports an architect is working on plans for that multi-million-dollar center, which will highlight the geological, cultural, and historical aspects of the park. It's also going to have a concession stand. Baraboo's Chamber of Commerce, the Ho-Chunk Nation, and other groups could meet as soon as next month to get public input on that new facility. And if you're already looking ahead to spring and summer activities, Madison's brand new pro soccer team is now selling 5 game ticket packages. That package gets you into 5 home games for $99 plus a free scarf. Madison Forward FC will open their inaugural season this April with the team's first home game scheduled for April 27th against the Greenville Triumph. Retiring Badgers band conductor Mike LaCrone may have led his last fifth quarter, but now he's being immortalized in bobblehead form. Check this out. The Bobblehead Museum unveiled its new Michael LaCrone bobblehead. It features the legendary band director in a red blazer, and it actually plays on Wisconsin. They're only selling about 2,000 of them, with $5 from every sale being donated to the UW band. You can order them online. This is actually the second time LaCrone has been bobbleized. His previous bobblehead back in 2003 sold out. 8:53 right now. Be sure to join us tomorrow on News 3 This Morning Sunday. We're about halfway through January, so we're checking in to see how your resolutions are going with a look at some of the top diet trends this year. That's tomorrow morning starting at 6:30. And here's this reminder. CBS will be airing a special 48 hours on the Jamie Kloss case. You can watch that right here on WISC-TV tonight at 9. But first, there's more News 3 This Morning Saturday right after this. Welcome back at 8:57. So the typical person goes storm chasing for tornadoes. Chris is going chasing for snow.
What better way to celebrate my birthday? If it doesn't snow in Wisconsin, I am seeking it out. So stay tuned to pictures coming from me today. That snow chance will remain south of us. You don't always have to go south to chase snow.
It's a little odd.
But that's the new way of life, apparently, here in Wisconsin. We dry out through most of the work week, though. Perhaps we could get some additional snow of our own towards next weekend. That's a ways away. We'll track the details, but we are entering into a pattern that I think will bring more snow chances.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Make it a great day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow morning starting.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.